Hi everybody, notice there was no introduction. That's because today I'm going to go over how I handle a on-the-spot breakfast. That's what's coming up in this video. So, I wanted to go take some gluten-free tortillas to a barbecue place and get tacos. They use my tortillas and they're very safe, but they had already closed up shop on the breakfast tacos, so I had to figure something out. So what I typically do is I try to think simple. I try to think of what I have already that is naturally gluten-free and isn't going to be too long. So let's take a look at what I got. In the fridge, we're going to see what we see. So we got all kinds of stuff going on in here. But right away, what do I notice? Well, we're looking for breakfast eggs. Eggs are naturally gluten-free, unless you have a dairy or egg intolerance or allergy. What else? I'm feeling, oh, what's that? Gluten-free tamales. It says right there, gluten-free. So obviously this is only for people who have a gluten or wheat issue. This isn't for anybody who has other issues, obviously, because those have corn in them. So if you have corn allergies or issues, you can't do that. And what else? Oh, just got me some guacamole and salsa, which is going to be delicious. So let's set that over here for afterwards. So, being that this is my first cooking video, I am going to do a little bit of video and a little bit of pictures, kind of try and mix it together for you guys to make it a fun vlog cook new experience with us. So let's try this out. So I just cleaned my pan. I used Dawn. Okay, obviously we use this a lot, but just because the rest of my family does not have all the issues my son and I do with gluten, you have to make sure you clean those things very good to take any contamination off there. Also a spatula, because I'm going to cook my eggs. And we're going to get started. With my eggs, I like to hit them on the side of the pan, get a nice little crack, and then I actually use my knuckle and push it down a little bit more. I can't do that with both hands, but I take my knuckle and push a little bit more so that then I can put 2 fingers right in the crack right there. And I'm going to put a finger down here and a finger up high, and then I'm going to pull apart softly and drip it into the pan. Alright, so I've got 3 eggs going. I might add a 4th actually, because I really like eggs and they're not too heavy. So I got them in there, turned it up to 3 so I can season and do stuff like that, so that they don't cook too fast before I'm ready. I'll turn that up a little bit, and then we'll flip them and stuff, and we'll show you that. But I get that in there, and then I actually sometimes you get yolk on your fingers or whatever, so I keep the trash here for the shells, and then I wash my hands real quick so I can continue on. Now, a nice little side note is that I actually learned how to cook eggs from my grandma. My mom and dad, to provide a great life for me, worked all the time, and there was just me and my sister, and we're 7 years apart, so I was by myself at home after my sister moved on to, do her things because she was older, and I didn't know how to cook, and I would just hate when mom and dad were gone and I didn't get to go to a friend's house because I didn't know what to make. So a simple, quick snack or meal with good protein and everything was eggs, egg sandwiches, whatever. So my grandma showed me how to make eggs. I've kind of messed around with that through the years, but just a fun little side note. Alright, so I did add a 4th egg. They're already starting to whiten on the bottom. I add a little bit of salt. I just do kind of a twice over. And then I do pepper till it looks the way I want it to look. If you don't like a lot of pepper or you want a different seasoning, you can always do that. So they're already starting to cook a bit. We're going to actually turn this up a little bit to about 5. Another really cool trick is if you're not wanting to flip them, something I've learned that helps them from sticking or having other problems is a little bit of water. It'll help them kind of bubble and cook on the bottom. You can either put a glass top and it'll help cook the yolks more. I like my yolks a little more runny. But you can also flip them, cut them up, and flip them over. So whatever, kind of eggs you're looking for, there's different ways to do it. Okay, so they're all getting pretty white on the bottom. Like I said, just a little bit of water. Doesn't have to be a lot. Now I'll get in there, I'll kind of give it a little sizzle. If you're lucky, it hasn't stuck already. And I'm just going to start cutting this up. I am actually going to flip these. Alright, so I've cut them up. They were a little bit cooked to the pan because I'm my dad. I'm doing everything. Feeding kids, helping my wife out, getting the oldest ready for her shower. So a lot going on, but they stuck a little. No worries. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. We're good. So as you can see, the water helps it kind of bubble, stick up from there. And now we're going to flip some eggs. Now, it's not always going to be easy or the way you want, especially when you're doing it one-handed with a phone. But it's okay if the yolk breaks. It'll just cook. It's still the egg. Just depends on how you like it. You can get better at this. It's a thing to learn, a thing to practice. Everybody should know how they like their eggs, so when you go to the restaurant, you know what to ask for. That didn't flip. So, it's looking like a mess right now, right? But that's okay. So we're going to add salsa, guacamole, and put it with some tamales. So we're just getting those yolks cooked. I like to put my stuff on a paper towel so it's not touching anything. I like to season the back a little bit while it's still a little wet. We'll want twice over with the salt. Get some pepper in there. Alright, so multitasking and using only one hand. Some of the eggs were a little burned, and I definitely cook eggs better than this, but for this video, they're going to be just fine. Like I said, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Put the eggs in a nice little clean container until we're ready for them. I heated up 3 tamales. You put a damp paper towel over them when you heat them up so that the moisture stays trapped in and it doesn't dry them out. Now, something I did want to go over. Most people know this, some people don't. Don't feel bad if you didn't. But when a tamale looks like this, you don't eat that. This is actually corn husk wrapped around it. So you actually need to remove that. Alright, so I've added some mozzarella on top of the tamales and the eggs. Warmed it up a little more to melt the mozzarella, make it nice. I did look everything up. Each tamale is 32 grams of carbs, so however you diabetics want to look at that. So that's 66 grams of carbs just with the 3 tamales. Eggs are only 1 gram of carb each, or I'm sorry, 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So another 8 for the eggs. The mozzarella cheese I used was 1 gram of carbs for every 1/4 of a cup of cheese. I did not measure. I do want to use my Cocina Fresca salsa. It is gluten-free. I also like Yucatan guacamole. I swear it used to say gluten-free, but I've never had a problem with it. So we're going to add that on top. and show you what it looks like. Alright, so here's the final product. The salsa says it is 2 grams of carbs for every 2 tablespoons, and the guacamole is 3 grams of carbs for every 2 tablespoons. Again, I did not measure. I just kind of go with what looks good for me. The other nice part about this is not all for one person or one meal. Alright, so this was my first cooking video on my Note 8. Thank you, Samsung. I love this phone. This is a great, easy meal. If you weren't multitasking and doing things like I was, then it actually shouldn't take you too long. Less than 30 minutes probably. But like I said, if you're okay with leftovers, or if you're making for more than one person, depending on your portion sizes, then you can have this for breakfast and lunch, which is usually what I do, so that you have an extra meal that's already ready to go. Or you can split it up among 2, 3, 4 people, depending on serving sizes. And it just tastes so good, you know? And it's safe for most people. Like I said, if you have dairy issues, you can't have obviously the cheese, possibly the egg. Corn issues, you can't have the tamales. If you have a tomato allergy, you can't have the salsa. So you got to be careful with your certain allergies and autoimmune issues. But for the most part, simple meal, easy, just getting in the refrigerator kind of stuff. We're going to try and make more videos like this where it's just quick, easy, what we're making for that day or that night. Some might be longer, some might be shorter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and share with everyone you can. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the people who supported us through the last 8 months of 2017. We're very excited for things to come for 2018, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.